All right, everybody, just wanted to go through step 4 of this project and allow you the time to go back over this video, pause it, take it slow just so that you can understand it in the best possible way. So if you want to review the other ones, you can certainly review the other ones too. At this point, you should have your spot chosen, mapped, and everything on Google Maps. You should have all the demographics information, find all the natural resources, your location, and all that stuff. And now, step 4 is the last really, big step to take, and that is you're looking ahead into the future. And the purpose of doing this is so that you can prove your understanding of development, globalization, migration, sovereignty, sustainable, and urbanization. I will tell you that there's a couple spots in here where I use just forms of the word instead of the actual word. So like sustainable, I used sustainability, which is really the same thing. And urbanization, I think I just used the word urban. But the idea is still the same. Development is how a settlement or a place, a city, continues to advance and grow. Globalization is its connection to other places, especially around the world. Migration is just how people move. Sovereignty is a person or a group that has control or power, who has the total control of, or the total power of your place. Sustainable or sustainability is something being able to survive and to continue to go over a long period of time. And urbanization is the process of a place becoming more like a city. So here we go with quick instructions down here. It says settlements advance, settlements learn about other settlements, and relationships form. Look into the future and describe how your settlement will change over a period of 20 years. Use the date 4 terms in your description. The 20 years thing is just kind of I just picked a number, but what I want you to do is try to look out into the future and try to figure out what's going to change in your settlement or around your settlement. So first thing here says you're going to explore the surrounding area and possible migration routes between your settlement and others near you. And when I say others near you, I mean like real places, unless there is a settlement that is from our class period that is somewhat close to you. And then you're going to draw lines that show possible connections between those settlements. So here is the map from set 3, just to show you an example of what I mean. And if this is your settlement, then make sure that you don't just copy what I do, but I'll kind of use yours to show what I mean by this. So here's a settlement located in what is now Panama. So this is the Gulf of Mexico right here, and the settlement is on the coast of the Gulf of Mexico. And what this says is that you should explore the surrounding area and possible migration routes between your settlement and others near you. So if I look at this settlement, do I see, first of all, any nearby villages or towns or cities? And I do. So how would this place that's called Rio Luis, how would that place try to get connected? And I don't want you to just draw a straight line. I want you to actually look into it. Can you tell what the landscape is like? Can you make some guesses on how things would work? If you need to, you could go here to base map and change the base map to terrain. And now you can really see, okay, how likely is it that Rio Luis, which might even just be a river, who knows, but let's say we're here. How likely is it that these people would migrate and go to this settlement? Well, if they would, it would not just be straight from here to here, because you're going all over all those mountains and everything, so it would have to be a different route. And to me, it looks like they would go maybe along the river and avoid all the mountains. So you can see I just click a bunch of times to make it a nice winding route. So maybe they go out the river and follow the coastline and then meet up. Now, when you did a shape, you clicked the original dot and that made the shape for you. When you're making a line, you double click when you're done. And so this is an example of a migration route. Okay. You can change the color again if it's something that you want to do. So I'll change it to yellow. All right. Now I might want to make that line a little thicker also. So when you click the paint bucket, you can change the line width just to help it be a little bit more visible. Okay, so now I see a migration route that's possible. So I'd want you to do that at least for a couple of the settlements that are nearby. But as I look at this one, it's really in a pretty good spot. It's surrounded by mountains. I don't think there's going to be a ton of people that are going to try to go through those mountains to get to where this settlement is. Okay, so that's what I mean by number one. Find those nearby places and show possible connections with those lines. Then number two says, based on your natural resources, which you have in step 2, your location, which is in step 2, and other regional factors like what you know about its weather or landscape, things like that, describe the likelihood of your settlement developing and being part of globalization. So how likely is it that your settlement gets connected to lots of other places and becomes, really worldly? Like a lot of people want to go there and do business with you. If you're really, really far away from everything, or if you're in a climate or in a location that's really difficult to get to, it's not likely that you'll be part of globalization. So you can answer number 2 on your own. 3, how will you or how have you maintained sovereignty in your settlement? Remember, sovereignty is absolute control, absolute power. So who has it, first of all? Oops, this shouldn't be there. I'll delete this right now. So you're going to describe how you'll continue to maintain sovereignty. And as you describe that, I want you to just talk about who's in charge. Is it one person? Is it a group? How does that work? How are you going to prevent outside influences, or will you seek outside influences? But you have to figure out and just kind of plan for who's going to maintain sovereignty, who's going to maintain absolute control and power of your settlement. 4 now says, describe the urban services in your settlement. So urbanization, being more like a city, requires different services, things like emergency services or cleaning services, garbage stuff. How are you going to figure out that stuff? What do you have? How does that process work in your settlement? And finally, number 5, assess the sustainability. So this kind of puts everything together. You should have an agricultural plan. You should have a plan for if you're global or not. Will other places be able to connect with you? Do you think you'll survive? Or do you think that your settlement will kind of die out because of your situation, your location, and other things like that? So that's step 4 for this creating a settlement project. It's the last thing you need to do before you share your information next time.